Some days begin in gold, with the flavor of summer mischief. You can craft beauty with your hands and braid intention into something warm. Even roots hold magic. Some stitches carry stories, and some details speak for themselves. Butterfly pea flower syrup, fresh lemon juice, and lime sparkling water is all you need to make the most amazing drink ever. And it's super whimsical, and that is the Cheshire Grin drink, which was sourced from a Disney cookbook, which I'll link below. I absolutely loved this drink, and I did not expect it to be so good. It actually tastes like, you know those sweet tarts, like back in the day? Those little candies, that's what this drink tastes like to me. So here's a fun fact. Back when I had gotten COVID, like in 2022, I could no longer drink carbonated beverages because they all taste like chemicals. So this drink is actually an amazing alternative. I've never made a bread quite like this before. The warm orangey yellow dough that practically glows from the turmeric and saffron, which I'll admit, baking with saffron is completely new territory for me, but that golden color instantly reminded me of all the sun symbolism that you see throughout the kingdom, and of course Rapunzel's hair. All that sunshine and fairy tale magic is woven right into this dough. This summer, for me, I'm focusing on slowing down and really being present, not rushing toward the next thing or looping back through the past, just letting myself be here now, you know? One thing that helps me stay grounded is structuring my life around the moon phases. It gives me a rhythm to check in with myself and come back to the present moment, especially when my mind starts wandering or skipping ahead. Summer has this expansive, glowing energy that invites you to pause, breathe, and savor what's right in front of you. I'm learning to lean into that. So next up, is giving my front door some summer love. And naturally, Bartleby here had to inspect every single flower. He takes seasonal decorating seriously, apparently. I wanted something that screamed summer, so the bright fuchsia and red-orange blooms with those spring white flowers still mixed in for contrast and a little airiness. I tucked in some monstera leaves as a little tribute to the plant I recently broke out of jail. There's a whole video on that escape mission. I'll link it below. But the sweetest part was that Isa kept bringing me flowers, each one carefully chosen, like she knew exactly what the wreath needed. And these little moments is exactly how the best childhood memories get made. It's like we weren't only decorating, we were also weaving joy into an otherwise ordinary afternoon. Back to the bread. So I grabbed some fresh rosemary from the garden, garlic, butter, and some seasonings, all mixed into this incredibly fragrant spread that made the whole kitchen smell absolutely amazing. I rolled out the dough, layered on all that buttery goodness, and somehow I almost forgot to add the cheese. Oh. Isa helped with the Parmesan distribution too. She had the focus of like a master chef. Then I braided the whole thing into this twisted circle. I had no clue how or if it was going to work, but that's the best part, creating something just because it feels magical and fun. So now, if we can have a real quick sidebar, see, the bread looked absolutely stunning, but the flavor was not my favorite. It truly has me baffled with all the herbs, the cheese. There was salt in the recipe too, but it was pretty bland. And I think also saffron, at least in this recipe, it's not my thing. So there's not going to be like me taste testing any of this because yeah. However, I have already perfected a version of this bread that tastes just as amazing as it looks, and that short will be linked below. So you should definitely try it. The backyard was looking quite enchanted. Like these spider webs here with little dewdrops. It felt like Silver Mist herself came to visit.
Dewdrops on spiderweb!
And my dear Figaro doing his royal garden patrol as if he owns every inch of it, but of course he does. My little tomato sucker has been patiently rooting in water for a couple of weeks, and today is its big debut. I nestled it into a repurposed pot from a tomato plant that I had last year, and I did my own soil blend that consists of peat moss, bark, lava rocks, perlite, I believe blood meal, and some tomato / vegetable plant food. I can't wait to harvest these tomatoes when it's time. There's something about working in the garden that reminds you great things take time, and even the tiniest beginnings can grow into something absolutely full of life and nourishment in this case. Oh, and Camilla, the best chicken ever, made her usual cameo to keep me company. And finally, the creation I've been most excited to share, my Cinderella Heirloom Ears. I imagined these as something Cinderella might have quietly crafted herself in those moments before everything changed for her. Not with a team of singing birds and helpful mice, though I did have some very curious 4- and 2-legged helpers of my own. These are built from burlap, lace, and canvas. Each ear is hand-stitched, carefully padded, and backed with foam board for perfect structure. I've even custom blended embroidery thread to get that exact shade of Cinderella blue to match the bow, which funny enough is something that they used to do back in the Victorian era. But the way I see it, if you're gonna do something, you might as well do it with that fairy tale precision. The headband is wrapped in vintage-inspired lace with a soft velvet lining the inside. And that bow is satin, structured just right. It definitely took quite a bit of trial and error until I felt like the proportions were just right. This whole project got me thinking about those before moments, before the transformation, before the ball, before everything shifts. I feel like those times just before great transformation is where the most potent magic lies. I'm actually thinking of creating a whole Before the Ball series, one set of heirloom ears for 13 of the princesses that captures right at that pivotal moment. Would that be something you'd love to see? Let me know down in the comments, and yes, there will definitely be giveaways along the way. This first pair will be going to one of you. All of the magical details are in the description. The dough has risen a second time, but in the skillet. This bread is golden and absolutely gorgeous with no flavor. But you know what? The making of it was a lot of fun, and I learned new techniques in bread making. Whether it's bread, wreaths, plants, handmade ears, these little things that we make, they matter more than we think. It's the art of creating that makes life really magical. Thanks for spending this enchanted day with me. I hope you caught some of that summer magic too. And don't forget, those Cinderella ears could be headed your way. So until next time, bye!